back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, March 8th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting because that is what I love to do all day, every day. And also drink caffeinated beverages or coffee in this particular instance. But I do like a lot of forms of caffeinated beverages, so that has nothing to do with what this podcast is about. I have social medias. You can follow me. I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram. Please go follow me over on there. I also have show notes that will be on my blog. So if you're on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below. Or if you're on my blog already, everything is already there. I have a decent amount of knitting to show you, but also not really any knitting to show you. So this may be a bit of a shorter episode. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I may ramble because that often happens. Goodness knows I like to ramble, but you know what? That's what makes this podcast my podcast? A podcast? I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. I may ramble. It may be longer than I think it will be. I don't know. But we will find out. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. So if you like to go grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, maybe you're prepping dinner, you may be doing all of those things, none of those things, whatever brings you joy, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. Also, yes, in fact, this is a narwhal that is smiling, and on the inside the lip says Cup of Happy. I was given this mug by a very dear friend of mine, and I love it. And is also dishwasher safe, which we love a good dishwasher safe mug, because I was afraid that it was not, and put me off of using it because I didn't want it to get scratched up. And I don't really, it's not that I don't like things that are not dishwasher safe, but I am less likely to use them if they are not. But this is. So that is wonderful. So first off, I have some finish objects, and I don't have them with me because I've mailed them. They were supposed to get mailed today or shipped today because I dropped them off on Saturday. A dear friend of mine from college, one of my roommates at some point during my time in college, she is getting ready to have her first baby, which is super exciting, and I'm so happy for her and her husband. But I made them a baby sweater and some hats. I showed you the baby sweater last week. It's Flax Light by Tin Can Knits, which is a free pattern, and then the two hats, which are so cute, I can't even. These are the pictures that I posted on Instagram, so if you follow me over there, you would have seen them. But the hats are the garter ear flap hat from Pearl Soho. And that's like, maybe it's been a long time since I've knit a baby hat, but like I knit those in maybe an hour, if that. And I had forgotten how, like, I mean, I knew that the sweater went quickly, but like when I did the first hat, I was like, oh, I can get a lot of these done. This is quite amazing. I love this so much. I used Knit Picks for everything. I used the Stroll for the fingering weight sweater in the Rainforest colorway, which is this beautiful emerald green, and then for the hat, or the hats, I used Swish, which is their superwash worsted weight, and Stroll is the Knit Picks superwash fingering weight as well, because, you know, superwash, being able to wash it is important. Ease of washing, as we have already been over. Dishwasher safe. type stuff is very important in my mind. Obviously for babies, that's also very important. So that was super exciting, and I got all that done. I made the little tassels on the hats, and I cannot get over how cute those things were. They were so cute. And like, I have no use for them at the moment, but I kind of didn't really want to send them away because they were so cute. And it's like, I can't use them. I have no babies to put them on, but they're just so cute. So I'm hoping that my friend really loves them. Her knitted items. So that's very exciting. But I did get those done. That took up a lot of my knitting time. And then we will talk about this, because this should have been a finished object. I had planned for this to be a finished object. I was bound and determined to get this done last night, but I was very sleepy. Bedtime was calling and I could not stay up any longer. So, and that makes it sound like it was very late. It was not. It was maybe 10:15. I was tired. We don't stay up super late. I don't really understand, I mean, I know that everybody's definitions of super late is different, so it made it, in my mind, I sounded like I was saying I had stayed up till like 1 or 2. That is not the case. I had stayed up till our normal time of going to bed and then had to get ready for bed, and so consequently went to bed a little bit later, which would have been like around 11, which is later than our normal time of going to bed. But some people I know also think that is late, so it really just depends. Now we're talking about bedtimes. This is just so entertaining. This is Over the Universe, which is a cowl that I am test knitting for Susan of Yiani Knits, which is super exciting. And this I am so happy with. I can't even. I do have a progress keeper to show where I was last week when I showed you, which really is not super necessary because it's very apparent the progress that I've made, and also I had planned if it was a finished object that I wouldn't even need the progress keeper, but it is still connected, still on, and here we are. Here is my Across the Universe cowl. So you cast on down here, and then you decrease as you go along. So you kind of create this right triangle. There's a geometry term for you, a right triangle of sorts. Yes. I'm so funny with my math humor. That is like nothing. Because I'm not a math person. So my yarns are deep stash. I have the navy, which is a Barocco Vintage DK, obviously in the navy colorway. I have this gray that I am uncertain as to what it is. I am pretty sure it is Cascade Sport. I could be wrong. I honestly don't know, but it's very nice. It did not have a ball band, but I did weigh it, so I do know how much I used, which is nice. I think I know what it is, which is what is on my Ravelry project page. And then the star of the show is this beautiful Noro, which is, I do have the ball band in here. Ayatoria? Toria. What? No. Ayatori. There we go. Ayatori. And this is the color 17. So I managed to make it through a full color repeat, which I am super loving. You can see I started off with the pink and then I made it all the way back into the blue. Pink is there. I think this general area is my favorite because it's like such a beigey, rosy pink. It is just so, so beautiful. I also love this mint green down here. Okay, so let's have a little ranty rant about the wonders of Noro yarn. So I do realize that, what am I trying to say? You don't have to love Noro. Ultimately that is the point of not everybody has to love Noro. It's okay if you don't like Noro. But like there's a time and a place for Noro for sure. It's not always the softest. It usually gets softer as you work with it. There's different bases that are softer than others. But the colors is really what I want to talk about. One of the reasons that I love Noro so much, and I don't think I fully understood this when I was younger, earlier on in my knitting life, knitting adventure, whatever you want to call it, I don't think I understood like why I loved Noro so much, just besides it was a bunch of fun colors. But now as I've gotten older and I've knit more and I know way more intimately with like what I like to knit, how I like to knit it, how I can knit best to fit into my wardrobe, that Noro is really a beautiful type of yarn in a way that it can help you wear and use and knit with colors that are outside your comfort zone in a really fun way. And because like you might pick up a skein of Noro and you're like, wow, I love all of these colors except for this one bright yellow. And it's like, okay, we'll just accept it for what it is. We'll use the bright yellow, but we love all of it except for the bright yellow. And then by the end of it, you're like, wow, I may actually like this yellow. And it actually looks really good on me. I did not know that. Granted, that's not always the case. I'm not saying that's the case every single time. There are some times where it's like, why in the world was this random green thrown in here? It doesn't even make sense with the color flow. And that is the case, but all Noros are loved by someone. They may not be your favorite. There are so many colorways of Noro that I'm like, wow, that's a lot. That wouldn't be my first choice, but I know it's other people's first choice, and I know that they love it, and I know that they like would totally enjoy a garment, a shawl, I don't know what, a hat, anything knit out of those colors. And I would say that this is true of this colorway. I feel like this is a good example of I love all the colors except for this weird greeny yellowy color. That's kind of weird for me. Not my favorite. But together, it is so beautiful. And afterwards, I kind of really grew to love this like sagey green. It's not quite sage. Sage is in olivey green? I don't know. I'm trying, my first reaction was this is a barfy green, but I'm trying to think of a better describer because we're being nice to this color. We're not being mean. We like this color. It's not barf color. And we're not even going to get into that because, yes, not all barf is green. We're not talking about barf on this podcast. But, like, the point is that I like Noro for a lot of different reasons. I love how you can be creative with it. I love the different bases that they have to offer. I love how some of them really soften up over time. Some of my favorite things that I have Noro in them, they really can shine, especially in Colorwork. I have this right here. I'm sorry if that bumped, like, this is Noro. This is amazing. And like, this yellow, especially this yellow next to the purple, not necessarily my favorite, but I love all of it together, and like, if it didn't have that bit, it wouldn't be the same. And so I feel like they do a really, really good job of putting together interesting and creative color combinations. They may not all be my favorite, but that's not the point. Noro is not there in existence to make colorways that I like. That is not their goal. I do like a lot of them, not all of them, and that's okay. But yeah, they just have such fun colors, a ton of different bases, and it's just a really fun way to be able to be creative and knit colors outside of your comfort zone, and maybe realize that you like some colors that you didn't know that you liked before, or come to like colors, in this case, of this non-barfy green. So this is almost done. I have like 15 or something rows left. I am so close to being done. And I'm very excited because this is the same or a similar shape to the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry, which I knit several years ago out of my hand spun, but it's a very interesting construction. Hers is a little bit different because you do increases and decreases, but with the one that Susan has made, which I preferred knitting this one because the one that Andrea Mowry designed, there was more to keep track of. Not a bad thing, but it's just, there's just more moving parts. And with this one, it was like, this is where you decrease on these rows, this is what you do not increase, which I really appreciated. It's much less to keep track of. And made it a way more, not a mindless knit, but way more easy to find a rhythm, which was super awesome. So once I found my rhythm, I was just like, we're just zipping along, getting these stripes in, we're loving the Noro, it's real exciting, I love it. But it does create this shape, and I believe this is how it is. I may be wrong. I need to look at the schematic, but ultimately this, with my needles, the live stitches will be cast off together with stitches from the cast on. So it creates a cowl bandana. This is not going to be shown very well because, like, I don't know. I think this is how it is. It's something similar to this. I may have gotten the edges mixed up, but yes. I'm very excited. It's a super cool shape. I also really love, and I need to knit more of, like, cowls that look like bandanas, because or they have that point that goes down in the front, so it could also be a shawl, because I really like that look. And the nice thing about the cowls is that they don't fall off, and that's always a plus. And it keeps the back of your neck warm and the sides of your neck warm, and it could keep your ears warm depending on what you need. And this is so squishy, and this particular Noro is really soft as well. Let's check out the fiber content. I forgot to tell you. It's wool and silk, and I love it. So good. I believe this particular Noro was, Ravelry said it was a sport weight, but I mean, if you've knit with Noro before, you know that it's pretty inconsistent when it comes to the thickness of it. There are some parts that are very thick, and there's some parts that are very thin, and that's just the nature of this yarn. Not a good thing or a bad thing, just a fact. And I would definitely say that it's a heavy sport for the most part, in my opinion. So I'm super excited. I believe this pattern is, I'm not sure when exactly this is coming out, but our deadline is this coming Friday, I think, or maybe Saturday, or maybe Sunday. This coming weekend. So this is definitely getting done. This is getting done tonight because I want to block it so I can take pictures tomorrow, which is very exciting. Which also brings me to my another pattern that is coming out soon, and those are the Shishka socks that I just finished. That was a test knit for Paula of Autumn Poppy Designs. They were my February socks, and Shishka is the Polish word for pine cone, fun fact. I used Hue Loco and Life in the Long Grass. They are shorties, and they come out this coming Saturday, which is very exciting. So if you were interested in knitting those toe-up shorty socks, keep an eye out on my Instagram, or go follow Paula because she posts beautiful, beautiful pictures. I love how she like edits them. They're very moody, and it's just very like, it's also very cozy, and I really like it. It's just, all of it is a mood, and I love it. So her socks come out soon, which is super exciting, and I had such a fun time test knitting. I learned so much. It was like great. So I would highly recommend those socks to anyone who is interested in socks. Great selling point. Toe up, shorties, lace on the top of the foot. Yes. So next up, let's discuss, we have some future projects to discuss because I was just trying to find things to talk about today. I don't actually know how much I have worked on this since I last showed you, but this is my Urban Adventure by Sari Nordlund. Do I have a progress keeper? Yeah, I do. Oh, I actually have made some progress. I actually hope that I remember to move this from last time, and I'm not just re-showing this to you, but I think that may be the case, and for that I do apologize. But this is going to be my new focus, because once this test knit for Susan is done, this will be my only test knit. I did so good this morning, you guys. Okay, I vocally out loud said this to Sam, who was in his office. I saw a test knit come up for Annie of This Bird Knits, which I've test knit before. For whom I've test knit before? Or I don't know. I've tested for her before. I don't know why I had trouble saying that. And it was the cutest pullover with like really cool cables on the front that were like offset, and it was DK, and it was also fuzzy, and I just couldn't even, but I know I need to take a break. So I looked at the picture in my mind, I said no, and then I was like, I am having major self-control right now and not saying yes to this test knit that I think is very cute. And Sam was like, good job. And I still have not, oops, dropped my ball of yarn. So I still not have said yes, will not say yes. This is my last test knit after the cowl is done, which is very exciting. This is a worsted Aran weight Colorwork pullover. It's top down, it's yoked clearly. I am getting so close to separating for the sleeves, and once I do, I believe it will go pretty quickly. I don't think there's colorwork on the sleeves. They will also go quickly. This is due pretty soon, but I know I can get this done, because once I get the color work done, I am like, it's just gonna go. And that's usually the case for most of the Colorwork sweaters that I do like this, especially when it gets to the end of the chart, because at this point you have like a bazillion stitches on your needles, because you need a bazillion stitches to account for, like, it has to fit over your shoulders. That's just how things work. And Sam is on the phone. So I'm using, again, Deep Stash, my orange. I love this orange, I can't even. My orange is Cascade Eco Wool. Don't remember the colorway name, but I do have one of the skeins that has not been wound up yet, and I obviously will have the colorway number at least on it. My gray is Barocco Ultra Alpaca, and my gray, dark gray, is Knit Picks Wool Andes. So we are doing some Adipo Stash Divo, because we love that phrase. We love creating weird phrases. And I have just really enjoyed working on this. Again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again, I've said it before. I love Colorwork. I love Colorwork sweaters. They're just so much fun. Yes. If I had to pick between lace, cables, and Colorwork, I would pick Colorwork all the time. That being said, it would also depend on the type of sweater, because if it's a cardigan, I'd rather knit cables. If it's Colorwork, if it's a pullover, I'd rather knit Colorwork. And then lace would probably be in a shawl. That being said, I'm going to talk about a lace cardigan in just a minute. So it's not that I don't love them. I also love them, but gotta switch things up and do different things, you know? Because we can't, like, if I stay in a rut, I will do nothing else. And I want to take a break. And I want to stretch my mind creatively, you know? It's very important. It's like reading books outside of your comfort genres. It's very important. It stretches your mind. I also don't think there's Colorwork on the bottom of this, which I would really like, because very selfishly, by the time I get to the bottom of the sleeves, or like the bottom of the hem, I'm like, I am done. I really want to wear this. I want to be done. I want to have this off my needle so I can work on other things. I don't have time for the Colorwork, which is very dumb of me. I am very aware. Let us see. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, there's no Colorwork on the bottom of the body or the sleeves. So I'm very close. This is her picture, the designer. It's like just so beautiful. And yes, I realize living in Houston won't have very many opportunities to wear this, but there are other places that I can wear things that require cold, or that it is cold and requires more knitwear. That is the thing. So I'll get that done soon, which is very exciting. And then in here, I have not worked on, but I just wanted to refresh your memory. This did arrive in the mail and is now being unwound. We're going to, I don't know why I didn't do that. You may have not seen this yarn in a while. That's because I ran out, but you might recognize it. This is my, oh no, now I don't remember. Oh no. It's been a while. Okay, we're the Wishbone yarn and designs. That's who designed it. The Old World pullover. There we go. I got this. I got this. And again, we have just a perfect example of the beauty of Noro. So I was working on this, I was tootling along. Goodness gracious, is this not a beautiful sweater? Because this is a beautiful sweater. Not to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, because I knit all of this. But, like, can we even? Again, with Noro, like, I love the pink. I was concerned about this brown, but it fits in so well and I love it so much. And it wouldn't be the same without the brown. So anyway, I ran out of this yarn and looks to be relatively the same. We know I've been bitten pretty hard multiple times by different dye lot problems. And Malabrigo is definitely one of those companies that is a big issue. So we're not going to think about it too much right now because I don't want to think about it too much right now. I'm busy recording the podcast. We don't have time to dwell on negative things or the reality of the situation. But I just have the ribbing to do on the body, and the sleeves are not long. So we will see. And I do have this much left of the other one. It's close. I mean, it's not too drastically different. No. I think it'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much because I also just really, again, I really would just want to wear the sweater. I really want to get it done. I want to wear it because it's beautiful. And this is Noro Silk Garden Light in the 2169 colorway. Very creative. I do wish they actually named their colorways. I realize that they have way too many to actually name them, but it would be fun if they did name them. I love this yarn so much. It is so pretty. And I did get this yarn minus this other extra skein. I did check to see if they had an extra skein, but they did not. I got this from Maker and Stitch, which is in Edwards, Colorado. We do love a good local yarn shop buy. So this is super exciting. I'm using Noro, like I said, and then the Malabrigo is the washed. I just happen to have a ball band right here. Perfect. Their super wash version of their worsted. So it is a single ply, which is very exciting. I have not knit a sweater in a single ply yarn in a while. Which is for no particular reason, but I do love how they turn out. They're just very soft. I do know that there's differences in like the wear and tear of a single ply versus a plied yarn, especially for sweaters, but I know what I am doing, and I love this color combo so much. I'm very excited. So I think it'll be like a swan showy type sweater, which I just love so much. I think it'll be very similar shape and fit to my rug sweater, which is like one of, if not the favorite sweater that I have made of all time because I wear it nonstop. Very excited to get this done, get this back, to have progress being made on it now that I have the extra yarn. I don't know where I put that. Oh, I put it back in the bag. Did I put it back in the bag? Yes, I did. Just losing track of yarn over here, which is not good because I need that. Anyway, so this is super exciting. Hope to get that done soon, but no, there's no pressure to get it done anytime soon. What am I saying? Just contradicting myself. I want to get it done, but I'm not going to put pressure on myself. So when I do get things done, mainly my test knits, I would like to cast something on. I don't know what, but I do know what. I narrowed it down. I made some big decisions, and by big, I decided 2 options before recording. I like to make a sweater, and one of them is just plain garter stitch, and the other one is lace. And you know what? I went to my cabinet full of yarn that has projects already specifically made for them planned out, and I picked from there, and it felt so good. I had to remind myself what some of the things look like, but that's okay. This is Patagonia organic merino from Jupiter Moon Farms. I have more skeins than just this one, but for the ease of showing and keeping things neat and organized in my container, bookshelf thing. I just pulled out one skein. But this is like a beautiful heathered gray charcoal color. I also got this from Maker and Stitch, and I will be making, if I pick this one, it will be the Cruiser cardigan by Skein Yarn, which is super cute. There's some dolman sleeve action. It's garter stitch for the most part, I believe. It looks like very interesting construction. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I also love this yarn, and I think even though this is not necessarily the most summery of colors or springy of colors, I do realize that, as it is basically black, but love a good staple. A black cardigan you cannot go wrong with, especially with a fun, unique shape of a sweater. I think I will get a lot of use out of, and I think it's so squishy. It's very light and airy, so I feel like it will be good for Houston in the highly air-conditioned summer, which you've definitely turned on your air conditioner already. You know? It's very off and on. Sometimes we need the heater, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't do anything, and then we need the air conditioner again. So it's very up and down. Great for our sinuses, you know. So this is one option. And then my second option is another pattern that is designed by taking all the cat hair off of it, because this is not orange. We're not knitting an orange cardigan right now. A birdie colored cardigan. This is purple. Or slow, as what the colorway is. This is also, or a pattern that is also designed by Sari Nordlund, who designed the Urban Adventure that I'm test knitting. So I'm very excited to have this on in my queue. I got this yarn for Christmas from my in-laws, which is super, super awesome. They're very sweet about encouraging my yarn and knitting passions and gift me yarn. It's very sweet. This is the Bio Shetland from BC Garn. It is 100% pure organic wool, and again, it's also they both are 2-ply, both are very airy, and I believe woolen spun. This is from Hill Country Weavers, is where my mother-in-law ordered it, I believe. But it's this very beautiful, like, mulberry, it's like a reddy purple. I know the light is completely blowing it out, but it's very nice. The cardigan has a bunch of beautiful lace up at the top around the yoke, and it is just stunning, and I've had this in my queue for forever. So these two things are what I will be picking between once I get test knits done, and maybe even something else. I haven't forgot about my second sock. Don't worry, I have not forgotten about it. I do know that I need to do it. It will happen. I feel like this is something that I think about in the moment, or I think about when I'm not in the moment, I should say. When I'm not in the moment, when I'm not picking up projects and stuff. I used to have more cardigans than pullovers. And then I realized that and started to knit way more pullovers. And now I have completely overcompensated and now have way too many pullovers. I say as I'm just showing you 2 pullovers. And have other pullovers to show you. But that's to say is that my cardigan knit cardigan game is lacking, in my opinion. So I have a couple that are staples, but I would really like to add more into the rotation that I am consistently using. I have a couple that are just not ones that I reach for all the time for reasons I can't quite pinpoint. Maybe that they don't fit exactly how I want them to, or they're older, or it's a strange yarn content. they're still great sweaters, and I really enjoy knitting them, but it's just that I don't reach for them all the time, which is totally fine, and I just need to figure out why or what I can do differently so I don't make more sweaters that I don't reach for. These two, especially, I think the colors are ones that I love. Again, this one will be a little bit more fancy, I think, just because of the nature of the lace, but I think this will also be a very good air-conditioned sweater because it's just, it's woolly, but it's airy, and same thing with this, even though this is fingering and this is DK technically. The finest organic merino, humanely grown in Argentina. Love that. I have never knit with Patagonia, but I've heard a lot about it, so that was one of the reasons why I picked up this yarn. And I also have wanted to knit the cruiser cardigan for forever. So that pattern came out around the same time as I was test knitting her, now I can't remember what it was called. It was the tee that I test knit for her that was like bright yellow on the top and blue on the bottom last year during the summer sometime. It was so much fun. Super sweet to work with, and her patterns are really wonderful. So the cruiser cardigan came out around that time, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is immediately going to my queue. I have to make this at some point. So these are my two options. I'm limiting myself to these two options. I've made the decision. It's now between these two and not all the other projects that I have in my cabinet. So maybe that will be this week. I don't know. I'd really have to work hard on the urban adventure for that to make that happen. But I could make it work. You know, it's only Monday. We got time in the week. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. No promises. So hopefully there will definitely be a finished cowl. No guarantees on a finished Colorwork sweater. Though that would be nice, you know. But you never know. You never know. No, we won't say that we can't do it, because it is possible. So that is all the knitting that I have for this week. Just reading, listening to things. I'm getting ready to yawn, excuse me. Oh my. Ooh. I'm sorry if that made you yawn. It's just that time of day, you know. I've been cooking and baking out of this Half Baked Harvest cookbook, and I cannot tell you how much I love it. It is just so good. I cannot even. I made the pad see ew last week, and oh my goodness, it was so good. So good and so easy. I used frozen vegetables. It was the best. I didn't have to chop all the vegetables. That being said, I don't mind chopping vegetables, but it definitely made things easier. They were already really easy, and we just dumped the bag of frozen vegetables in the pan, and we're good. So I highly recommend checking out that cookbook if you are unfamiliar with Half Baked Harvest. Her name is Tegan on Instagram, and she has a blog. She takes the most beautiful pictures. I can't even. So good. But yeah, that is all that I have for you guys this week. Apologies if it was a little bit shorter, but you know, you do what you gotta do. It's just the way it is, and that's okay. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. We've been over my crafty plans. I'd like to get things done. I need to take pictures. I need to take pictures of my socks as well. I'd like to finish my urban adventure, and just some other things, you know, just tootling around. And I have my Advent project, and I have my birthday shawl, and I have my socks, and all the other projects that I haven't shown you guys in a while. It's a thing, but that's okay, you know, it's fine. it's not stressing me out. So that's really all that matters. If it's not stressing me out, they're my projects. They don't affect anybody else. If anybody else, they affect Sam. And I know he doesn't mind. So I'm not stressed out. So it's okay. It brings me joy. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, they also have the show notes. I have Goodreads. If you want to see what I'm reading that I don't necessarily talk about on here, you can do that. That will be awesome. And just have a wonderful day. Listen to some fun music. Maybe dance a little bit. And yeah, with that, I will see you guys next time.